Welcome to the podcast. Nathan Newberry here, your host. Super pumped for you guys to tune in on this episode. We have Callan Faulkner here. She's an AI specialist. We're going to dive into really geeking out on this episode with some tactics around helping people that are building online businesses. Because we're just off, recording here. We're talking about tons of ways that we can streamline things. I think many times we think about like hiring people, but really sometimes it's like systems and automations that can really help bridge that gap. So we're going to talk about that through the conversation here. Toward the end, we're going to really geek out a little bit. So stay tuned till the whole episode. If you're someone that's really wanting, though, to build an online business, down below in the show notes, I want to give a gift for everybody that's listening in of how to build one. One of the methods that I am a big advocate is the AI freedom method of identifying our freedom, but also leveraging AI as the most amount of things that we can do to really kind of buy back our time. And we're going to talk a lot about this on the episode today, but it's my gift as a free workshop for you guys to go check out. That's going to be really helpful for you. Callan, thank you for being on. I'm excited for today, diving into the AI stuff. Thank you for being on. And I want to ask you one of the questions right off the bat here that everybody that I get to ask is, what is high performance? How do you live that out? What does that mean to you?
Yeah. Well, I'm a big believer in we're getting woo-woo off the bat, but that's okay. We'll
Sure.
scale it back. I love one of my favorite books of all time is called U2 by Price Pritchett. And it's all about how to actually create a quantum leap. How do you create exponential results with minimal effort? And I think high performance in my world is a couple things. One, it's emotional regulation. If I can stay calm in the center of the storm, my business is going to function so well because I'm always making decisions from a place of facts, data, intuition, and not emotion. Second thing is taking care of myself, my body. I'm outside in nature, grounding, strength training, hosting dinner parties with my favorite people, constantly masterminding with my best friends who are scaling in businesses. So it's that combination of being emotionally present, being spiritually tuned in, and creatively on fire all at the same time, and not feeling like you have to do all of the work. Find the A players and bring them in, and that's been the key to my success the last couple of years.
I love that. I'm gonna ask you more about that here shortly.
Let's do it.
I want to ask you this too, just like for people that just want to give like a bird's eye view of like what you do. Give them like your little plug, and then I'm gonna ask you more origin stories too. But like, how do you serve people at a high level?
Yeah. So 2 years ago, July 2023, I was in the middle of a divorce, and I was putting together an SOP. And it's absolutely my worst. Are you a visionary? Are you more of a?
Yeah, I'm a big visionary guy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you like putting together SOPs? Is that a?
No, I hate it.
Okay. Yeah. Cool. Yeah. Same. But literally, I'm like, I think I'd rather just go get a job than have to put these things together. And I saw my first YouTube video of the guy. He, recorded himself talking about the SOP, went into ChatGPT, said, "You're a world-class technical documentation specialist. Please format this, take this transcript, build out a perfect SOP, include links where necessary." And it just took that task that usually took, 2 or 3 hours, and not even about the time, but more about the bandwidth and the effort and energy that it took to build it. And it made it, 10 minutes of time. And it was just that massive. I've always, my whole life, my whole career, been obsessed with efficiency, leverage, even in my own home. Like the systems in my home, I have a house manager, I have just things have their place, things are organized, we have systems. And that was just the massive thing. Like this is infinite possibilities of leverage. And I know you feel the exact same. So at the time, I was running a consulting business for real estate investors. And I actually, a few months after that moment, I had went up to the Canadian Rockies. I was with Renee Warren and a bunch of other women. We did a breathwork session. I came out of it and I was like, I have to shut everything down and just go all in on the AI. I don't know what it looks like. I'm going to probably let my ex-business partner down. He's like, what are you talking about? You're leaving this. I'm like, no, I don't know how to explain it. It's just an intuitive hit. I have to shut it down. And that was when my business now was born. It's called The Uncommon Business. And we are an AI education company. So we do AI education. I am just extremely powerful about, I think there's kind of the two buckets of AI. There's kind of the buckets of AI of like, I just call it like the technical side, like the stuff that the IT department owns, predictive analytics, machine learning, cool, amazing, cool AI stuff. Then the other side of it is how human beings interact with it and the skill set that humans need to understand. And I've learned it's just truly a communication skill set. And that's what we teach now is we teach small business owners, even enterprises now, how to make sure every single one of their human beings is using AI properly, not using it lazily, which we'll talk about. And ultimately finding those quantum leaps with less effort, creating exponential results.
That is cool. I mean, I love it. I mean, the origin story, diving into how you help people, that is a unique one. And I like the fact that you're talking about uncommon business because it is kind of uncommon to have it. But nowadays, everybody's using AI. And if they're not, they're definitely being left behind. I think more and more people are adopting it, especially now that every tool is kind of adopting it in some fashion or form.
Yeah.
Is there still, with a lot of the industries that you found, a lot of reluctancy with it?
Oh, dude, no one's using it. No. Like, sure, they log into ChatGPT, write me 5 social media posts. That's not using it. And that's what I've been on the phone with private equity owners, billionaires, thought leaders. I do private consulting with some major thought leaders, people that you and I both know. And the truth is that sure, that leader might be using it reactively when they're overwhelmed. They are accepting the first draft that comes back from ChatGPT, copying and pasting it and using it. They're shipping unreviewed work. They're prioritizing speed over quality. They're settling for surface level outputs. That's not using AI. And that's what most people are doing. And there's actually a few weeks ago, I was hiking in Aspen and I met this billionaire private equity owner. He owns 30 companies, many of which everyone knows on the call. And I showed, I went in there and he was like, oh yeah, I'm using this for my emails. And we ended up going through an exercise where I asked him what's keeping him up at night. And he needed to raise $40 million in 90 days for this company. And long story short, I took him through the prompting framework. We interviewed him, we excavated all the details, and it gave him a result that he'd never thought of before. He was like, holy crap. Like, if I had trained an intern how to do this with me, my intern could have literally presented me solutions to this. I'm like, 100%. 100%. He'd never seen that before. So I think it's actually being used more. I think our coaching consulting space is really bleeding edge. And I think what I have been realizing is when I'm talking about it, I have to go way back to the beginning because every single day I'll do a keynote and there are people always in the room that raise their hand. They've never logged in and they don't even know what it is. So we're lucky. We're the lucky ones that we are truly using it and using it the right way.
And that's so interesting too, because the level of competency that we have right now with AI is only compounding every hour of every single day. And so it's just wild to think of, where we're at right now. It's like we're on the DOS computer and we're like, this is innovation. It's just like, we're going to be looking back like, oh my gosh.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh yeah. We'll look back and be like, remember when we didn't have that agent we could train up and just tell them what to do? It's like, yeah, we don't yet, but but again, some of the people, if you really are using it properly, we're getting to some pretty cool stuff, but nothing near, oh my God, can you imagine 10 years from now? It's going to be insane.
Well, let me ask you, I want to dive into, give me some practical steps of how can people use it now in a variety of areas to be able to benefit and streamline their life? And then I want to ask you specifically around how to build the coaching business and some practical elements around that. But I think if we can wrap our head around, hey, this is how we should be thinking about buying back our time. This is how we should use it on a day-to-day basis. How would you explain or give some different pointers and things there?
Yeah, I love that you went this direction because a lot of times people will hear me talk or they'll start thinking about AI and they're like, it's so overwhelming. Then it's like, I don't even want to do it because it just feels so overwhelming. So I always say the best way to become an AI architect is just to start using it in your day-to-day life. So let's talk about just some things in no particular order. Number one, if you are in a relationship with another human being, you should be using this. So that can be a sister, a brother, a spouse. Obviously, in a romantic relationship, it is so powerful. But I want to give an example of bad usage and then the correct way to use it. So let's talk about a relationship with a spouse. So let's say you're in conflict with your partner And let's just say it's a silly example. Like your partner, you guys want to get a new couch, but your partner is a little bit more money conscious. And they're like, I don't want to get, no, that L-shaped one is way too expensive. And then, you want the L-shaped one because you want all your friends to be able to sit on the couch. So this was an example that one of my friends had. So we went through AI with this. The bad way of using it would be going in and saying, oh my gosh, he is such an a-hole. I can't believe he's being so money scarce again. What should I say to him? AI is a mirror. So AI wants to make you happy. If you come in with that attitude and that frequency, it's just going to mirror that right back to you. It's going to be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe he's doing it like that. Here's a text to send him. Versus, and this is why emotional regulation is so powerful and doing the work is so powerful, because when you come into AI, if that is happening, what I would recommend saying, and this is just the better way of handling it in general, is here's the situation. I want you to take a neutral approach on this, and I want you to actually act as Dr. John Gottman, who is one of the leading researchers in marriage. He studied over 70,000 couples, and he can predict divorce with like 90% accuracy. And I want you to help me through the situation. The first thing I want you to do is, I want you to interview me about the situation so that you have all the details. And then I want you to walk through a script of helping me through the situation with making sure that my spouse feels loved the entire time. Maybe he walks you through things. And then maybe the next question is, okay, let's pause here. I want you to actually put me in his shoes and help me understand exactly what he's feeling and thinking so that I can have more empathy for him. I say this example because when we do the latter, the experience in AI is so powerful. We can get into someone else's shoes and we can understand what they're thinking and we can prepare for deep conversations in the right way. But the reason why a lot of people aren't getting that is because they don't actually ask the right questions or set it up properly. So that's a relationship example. Have you used it at all in any of your life relationships?
I haven't had it ask me questions. That's unique. I mean, I do it with everything, with my health and relationships in some aspect, or situations, or hiring or firing, or all those things above.
So there's two things about that I think, two things that are really important to pot tips. One, when AI, if you tell ChatGPT, hey, I'm walking in to fire somebody, help me with the script, and you just say that, it's immediately its number one source of information right now. And it's acting as a Google, right? It's acting as a search engine, is Wikipedia. So it's going to go to like a Wikipedia-like source or something high up on the algorithm to learn about firing. In my opinion, when I fire somebody, that is not the framework that I'm using. I'm using a framework. Typically, when I'm having conversations with other human beings, I follow Kim Scott. She wrote a book called Radical Candor, phenomenal communication specialist, and I follow her principles. So when I'm in ChatGPT, I tell it to be Kim Scott, the author of Radical Candor, and help me through the situation. You are going to get a completely different experience. The second thing is, this is extremely important when you go into prompt. The first thing is, please ask clarifying questions, because AI is trained for a multitude of reasons. One, it just wants to make you happy. Two, just because of the way it's trained, it's not gonna be like, wow, I have 100 questions for you right now, and I could give you a better result if I knew all these details. It's just gonna go and give you a result. So it's really important that you say, do you really have all of the information that you need from me? Is there any other information that you could request from me that would give you a better response to this?
Interesting. What's the typical layout or prompt? I mean, you have an identity around what you're doing.
A role. Yep.
A role.
You are. Yeah, I really like to say you are. And when we say you are, and if you don't know, so let's give another life example. Let's say you are really overwhelmed and you have so much on your mind. Our brain is not meant to hold information, but we hold it every day. It's meant to process things through. So when I'm on my drive or my morning walk, I'll pull up chat, I'll pop on the voice, and let's say I want to build a plan for the day. If you don't know who it should be, the first thing I would ask is, are there any thought leaders out there that do really well with helping turn chaos into clarity and help me build a daily schedule? I feel so overwhelmed right now. I have all these things to do both in my personal life and my professional life. Can you give me 3 thought leaders and why you think they'd be a good fit for me to talk to this morning? It's going to go through. It's going to give you a couple. I love Cal Newport. He wrote a book called Deep Work. I follow his time blocking principles. You find someone that fits with you. So then now your role is you are Cal Newport, productivity specialist. The second part of the prompt is the context. So I teach my clients to speak in a stream of consciousness. I think a lot of us have Google brain where we're like, I have these things to do. And you just kind of type out a bunch of things you have to do. First of all, typing, no go. Like use the voice activation tool and speak into it. If you're not a big speaker, I get it. But for those of us that are verbal, and a lot of us coaches, consultants, like speaking it out is so much more powerful. So that context is just ramble. What is on your mind? Everything from start to finish. Car wash, nail. I got to get my nails done. There's a mice getting in the basement. Like whatever it is, ramble it out. That's the context, the third part. So it's 4 parts: role, context, and then it's the request. Then it's what do you actually want Cal Newport to do? Do you want him just to listen to you and give you empathy? Do you want him to build you a daily schedule? Do you want him? And I usually will tell him, I'm overwhelmed. I need a schedule for the day. And then I need a whole list of radar tasks for my life, radar tasks for my business. And then because I've trained ChatGPT to know that my house manager is Shelly, my assistant is Woward, Kinsey is our integrator, Carter's our AI specialist. It knows who all these people are. So then I will delegate. I'll say, okay, now write messages to my team to delegate this to Shelly, this to Woward, this to Carter with all the background information, and it'll give me all give me the messages. And then the final 4th part is please ask clarifying questions. So before you do all that, what other information do you need to make this the best response that you possibly could?
I like that. Now, do you upload a business context file before that, or do you use ChatGPT because it has a memory function? Mm-hmm. What do you do to have it recall some things about you? I
personally am working inside of custom GPTs or Claude projects. That's typically where I'm operating. For most people, you could load that into the memory 100%. So ChatGPT has like an overall memory. Every time you log in to ChatGPT, there's a memory. My memory right now is full, of course. But I recommend to my clients, and we kind of go through this process of every quarter, it's important to update your overall ChatGPT memory. And I'm a big fan of Joe Dispenza and quantum goal setting and all that. So even updating ChatGPT on like, where are you headed? What is the future version of yourself? What are the things that you're battling right now mentally, so that it kind of knows your tendencies and your tracks. And then inside of the custom GPTs, are you familiar with custom GPTs? Have you guys talked about that on the podcast?
I haven't talked about it, but I mean, I use it.
Okay. So let me explain to people what it is. So when we log into ChatGPT is a large language model. We're just going to use ChatGPT as it's kind of like the Google right now is the first one. It doesn't mean it's the best one. There are many other large language models. I'm using Claude. It's CLAUDE.ai. If I'm writing any content, I am writing it inside of Claude. I do not use ChatGPT for content. If you look at the large language model scale of the best, Claude outranks everyone in content creation. It's just much more human and much more authentic. Perplexity is amazing for research. So a lot of my clients that are in the medical field, chiros, functional practitioners, doctors, physical therapists, when they're building marketing materials and they need to source it properly, we're using Perplexity to grab those sources. I actually have been loving Grok. So Grok is a large language model built by Elon. It has a back at Twitter, is on its back end. I love it for consumer sentiment. What are people talking about right now on X? How do people think about X, Y? I did a keynote for some chiropractors, a bunch of chiropractors a few months ago. And I went on Reddit. I asked Grok to compile all of the consumer sentiment about why they ended their chiropractic care plan on Reddit threads. And it built all the reasons why people ended their chiro plans. And then I used that to build my keynote of how AI could have prevented those things from happening. So it's really cool to grab consumer sentiment. There's Gemini as Google. So I'm not using Gemini very much. I'm sure it's great. I don't know. It's like now I'm at the point where I'm like, okay, if I get a new one in, something's got to go to Goodwill. So I'm like, I'm filled. If some people are like, what about this one? I'm like, I'm sure it's great. I don't know. I've got what I need. So when you just go regular into the large language model, I just call that on the fly prompting. That's what the name I've come up with. We're kind of just on the fly prompting. We're just chatting with it. We often, when you're just chatting with it regular, you have to give it a lot of background. You have to give it a lot of context, which is fine, but often it will take you longer to get to the result that you're looking for because it just doesn't know. Like if you're writing a social media post, it has no idea who your ideal client is, your voice, your tone, what's your mission, what's your vision, what are your values, what's your pillars, what is the past content that's done well for you, what content has done well for your competitors. All these things that are required to build a world-class social post are not in a normal chat. So now, if we want that memory to be built in, we have to start talking about, I call them AI projects. ChatGPT has they have projects technically in there. You could do a project. They also have custom GPTs. I'm just going to talk about the project. We'll talk about custom GPTs because custom GPTs are a little bit different. You can share them outside of your organization, which I love about custom GPTs because we have custom GPTs for our clients. So if you are a coaching consultant right now thinking about giving something to the client, I'll talk about a custom GPT we have for everyone that's in our AI program. It's called the Command Center. So there's 2 parts to a project. The first part is called the custom instructions. So the custom instructions are where you set the instructions of this project. Who is it? What does it do? What is its role? What is it really good at? What does it need to know? There's limits to these instructions. This is like the absolute most important thing. So in our A2A command center, it says you're Callan Faulkner, a world-class AI coach and consultant who helps people implement AI in practical, functional ways to accelerate their business and life. You need to review the transcript to find answers to people's questions. You're enthusiastic and genuinely excited, blah, 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 blah. Here's your communication style. Here are your core principles. Here is your approach to their questions. Here are your boundaries. Don't give legal advice. When someone says, I have a question, you say, great, how can I help? I've got all these little instructions in here. Now, there is the second part. So there's 2 parts. So there's the instructions and then there's the knowledge. So then the knowledge is a variety of files that you can upload in here. In the knowledge, I have all of the transcripts of my coaching in this program and in past programs. And I also have all of the links they would ever need. So if they're like, where's the prompt library and where is this and where's that? That is all of it. They can literally ask it and it has it because it's uploaded in the knowledge base. So if they just went into ChatGPT General and they were like, what would Callan think about building out a proposal generator for my company? Who's Callan? What do you mean? Versus this, thinks like me, knows all the information that I've coached on, knows exactly how I solve problems, seen me solve a lot of problems, seen me do live hot seat coaching, and is a phenomenal resource for our clients.
You built your own personal extension of you.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
I love that.
Yeah, 100%. Totally. I think that's the thing about, where we're headed is, to handle, I've got about 500 people in our program right now, and to handle that amount of people, I mean, we look at the numbers on this right now, and it's had 500 chats in the last 2 weeks. So that could have been 500 messages internally that a human being would have had to respond to, or I've given them this source, to be able to get answers from, and it's just cutting way back on effort.
Now we're able to ChatGPT. That's specifically what you created for that one.
I created it in ChatGPT because Claude has Claude projects. It's the exact same concept. You have instructions and knowledge, but you cannot share a Claude project outside of the organization. Yeah. So I could not share that with my clients. The next level for us is we're going to put a skin on top of it. They have to log in, get access. And then if I did that, then I could technically make the back end a Claude project. But, it's custom development. I'm like, I don't have time for that. Here you go.
Let me ask you this for coaches and consultants with that specific line of industry, there's some things that people are missing. Like they got all sorts of things. I mean, I bucket, the skill set that a CEO needs to constantly have is they need to know how to market themselves. They need to know how to do the sales. They need to know how to do the fulfillment, and they need to know how to lead people or set up automations or systems and manage people. And those are the things: leadership, fulfillment, sales, marketing. But I want to get your take on the coaching industry specifically. What can AI do to replicate people, systems, automations? What are people not using and what should they be using to really kind of take their thing to the next level?
Yeah. So I think I'm going to probably have a unique response. I think if you asked the classic AI guy on YouTube the answer to this question, he would tell you that you can recreate your avatar and that avatar can coach as you and it can be your voice. And honestly, what I say to that is I think you could, in like a very low ticket program, maybe you could have your avatar doing the coaching, but it is, man, it's emotionless. Like it is people don't already like being talked at, let alone being talked at for hours by a freaking avatar. Like, give me a break.
Yeah.
So I'm a no-go on that so far. It's not my authentic. I'm very goofy when I'm coaching. I'm constantly like making jokes, making it fun. I am not able to recreate that element yet. And I don't even know if I ever will. I think there's an element of the human to human experience.
Yeah.
I'm a spiritual person. I believe that humans carry a frequency. I believe we can feel frequency. I have intuition. You have intuition. We have like there's just something beyond that we can't quite describe. Now I'll talk about how I'm using it internally for preparing for coaching. So there's a couple things. One, every single time that I build curriculum, I'm loading it into a Claude project and I am teaching it how to build curriculum like me and think like me. I loaded in all my frameworks so that when I have a new story, have a new client breakthrough, build something internally, and when we're preparing for curriculum, I literally go into my curriculum builder like I just did this because tomorrow or on Wednesday, we're doing a brand new training on operations and using AI for operations and process development. And also like the founder brain. And I basically talked into it for like a minute of all the things I wanted them to leave with, the things I want to demo, and the things they're going to build. And it built out 70% there curriculum based on all my past curriculums. So I think curriculum development, framework development. The third thing is coaches, consultants. I would be mic'd up all the time, but even doing podcasts like this, I mean, it's such an advantage to be doing keynotes, doing podcasts, because I'm like talking right now and I'm probably going to come up with things as I'm saying. They're like, oh, that was pretty good. I have a database of every transcript of me doing any podcast or any training. So at a split second, I can pull out what would Callan think about, like what is her framework on deciding whether I should build a prompt or I should build a project. That's a framework. That's a piece. So my team is now prepping the curriculum based on what I've already said and how I think. They're running it through curriculum. And when I log in for week 5 of my training, it's already prepped and ready. And they're presenting to me what I think we should be talking about. I do a lot of boot camps. We do free master classes, everything there. So I'm rolling in like all of our surveys, all of our client stories, everything. We interview our clients after, we take those transcripts, we build those into case studies. Those are all going throughout our marketing pages. I could go on and on. We can talk about our funnel, but I think the thing for a coach consultant is to get to like $500,000, I had to be the doer. I had to be the salesperson. I was the marketing person. I was prepping the launch, planning the launch. I was doing delivery. I was making sure onboarding, and then literally at that mark, I started bringing in A players to help me. And now I literally like don't do anything. I show up to train. Like that's my job. My job is to show up to train, be the real visionary, like go walk in the woods and figure out what source is telling me to do in the business. Do keynotes, do make relationships, and my team does. I mean, I have my director of growth did the entire launch. I didn't even look at the sales page. I didn't even look at the marketing emails because we already built a cloud project that talks like me, has my voice. So it's like I already know. Like you don't even have to show it to me.
So what does your team look like now?
So I have a director of growth. Her name is Kinsey. She's one of my best friends. She was running a business before, and I brought her on. She runs all marketing, and she also runs finance. So she's kind of doubles up there.
That's a unique role to have
Mhm.
marketing and finance at the same time.
Yeah. She's so interesting. I mean, she's like she's classic badass entrepreneur, but she has the visionary and the integrator skill set. So it's fascinating. So she can do both. She really is a marketer at heart, but she also loves numbers and data. So she's kind of just filling marketing seat. I'm like, with AI and our really amazing bookkeeper and our tax strategy person, I'm like, we don't need anyone else. It's not very complicated what we're doing. But she loves to see it because it really helps her numbers, and she also loves people. So she's really interesting. She's a unicorn. I've got Carter. So Carter is director of innovation and I would say kind of customer engagement curriculum too. So he's AI freak. He like the solutions that he is building. I'm like, he is pushing edge, like constantly pushing edge, and he loves it. So that was really exhausting for me, like always trying to know the next best thing, and he is just obsessed. And then I have, we're bringing on a marketing admin person that's just going to take over all marketing content creation. And she's also going to be the face of our community. And then I have 3 virtual assistants internally.
And then talk about your schedule. When do you create content? Do you batch it? How do you come up with it?
Yeah. So our flow is it's actually a really fun flow. I don't create a lot of content. Like a lot of it is like videos of me. There will be times when I have to, if I am creating, like this will be content for us. We'll just take the raw file of this, cut it into reels. I do some batching, but most of it is she'll interview me on a Monday. She'll send me like 3 questions of like, what's the biggest download you've had as a leader? What's the biggest, one of the coolest ways you've used AI in the last week? What, something, okay, you were at that event last week, what was something someone said to you that you could share with your audience? I will voice note her back the answers to those questions. She takes that transcript, puts it into our Claude project it's our copywriter, our brand. It's called a brand guardian. So it protects our brand, talks like us, thinks like us. And it will build out 3 post ideas, real ideas based on the answers to my questions. She takes that, puts it in a Notion of the reel overlay and then the caption that she came up with. And then that goes into needs review. And then I get pinged. And then I go in, I review it, do final edit. And then once I say go, she posts it. So we're just constantly flowing through that cycle. But this podcast that I'm doing with you will probably be 2 or 3 pieces of content out of here, minimum, maybe 4, depending on how many stories I tell. So she'll grab the transcripts of every podcast and she'll feed it in and ask for ideas on content.
How are you getting clients right now?
Okay. So I have to keep this in mind because I think everyone has a different style depending on what their design is. But my human design is a 2-4, which means 4 is like my network is extremely important. So we just did our spring launch of Automate to Accelerate, our 10-week AI training program. 25% of our revenue came from our brand partners. So I had about 8 brand partners that we paid commissions to send emails about our program. We drove everyone to our low ticket bootcamp or our free masterclass. That's what they drove everyone into. We did not drive them into the high ticket program. Everyone got drove. We did a 3-part bootcamp. It was $47 and it was bad. I literally it was probably worth like $4,000. I way over delivered on it. So everyone was like, oh my God, what in the hell is going on here? And then I ended it with a free masterclass that went for 4 hours, and 25% of the revenue came from brand partners. 25% of our revenue came from ads. So our ads drove, our ROI was insane, but we drove everyone into the boot camp. And then the other 50% was all organic. So social, all year long, we are constantly, ManyChat, tons of free resources. I'm constantly mixing up our free resources. It's never the same thing. I think there's a combination of like, this is a great topic right now. And then I think it's also just the authenticity. Like we're not the classic, hey, here's a marketing prompt. It's like my giveaways are like 10x is easier than 2x custom GPT where you can build your 10x goals. Like I'm trying to bring my authentic voice. into it. But we do lead gen all year long. Like we're in the middle of our delivery for Automate to Accelerate, but in 10 days we're doing our quantum sales workshop where we're generating a ton of leads. I'm not really pitching anything. It's just pure lead generation, pure value. And so we're just constantly trying to drive leads in. And then I do a lot of keynotes. I coach master classes, and then I get on podcasts.
That's cool. How many speaking engagements do you feel like you do a year?
Like 6. Like not
Yeah.
crazy. I would say I'm in Minneapolis, so it's easier. I don't even count those. Like I'll do little workshops and things. Now that we're doing enterprise stuff, I'll probably do more things here in Minneapolis because it's just a big hub for those businesses here. But yeah, I would say 6 to 8 on a regular.
Talk about your tech stack too. I mean, you got humans in your business, but I mean, running AI, there's the need for systems, automations, and other tech that can help you. What are you leveraging and using now?
100%. Notion is the hub of everything. So that's all tasks, all projects. We run EOS internally. Have you talked about EOS on here a little bit?
I haven't talked about it, but I think people hopefully will understand.
Kind of know it. It's called Entrepreneurial Operating System. There's a book called Traction by Gino Wickman, if you guys haven't heard of it. So we run that, and that's where we manage every rock. Every quarter we sit down, we set our rocks. So those are all in there. Tasks are all in there. All of our notes, literally everything from my life and planning and goals and finance and wealth is all inside of Notion. So that's like our main hub. Big Zapier, Make.com, N8N, of course. Those are kind of the automation platforms. Zapier and Make.com are pretty similar. N8N is a little bit more advanced from an automations perspective. We use Go High Level as our CRM. And the reason why we use Go High Level is we don't have a sales team right now. If I had a sales team, I would not use Go High Level because it's absolutely terrible for pipeline management and actual sales. But from a marketing automation perspective, it's very badass. And that works extremely well. So all of our landing pages, sales pages, forms are all on Go High Level. And then ManyChat drives leads in from Instagram. And yeah, I mean, seriously, like in Slack internal communication. I think that's our next step. Right now, we're using Thinkific as our platform, client-facing platform. It's up for discussion. We use a Slack channel and Thinkific kind of as our Slack is where we communicate with our clients. Thinkific's where the video hub is and all the resources. I'd like to probably move over to like a Circle so it's all in one place, but the analytics in Circle they're getting better. I think Circle is just eventually progressing, but it would be nice to have kind of all of that communication and videos in one spot.
I love the connections that you have with everything. What do you think that a coach right now, if they're trying to market their business to get more leads and revenue, what would be the best approach that they should approach to really kind of get more leads and revenue?
Let's do a very specific example. What are they coaching on? What do they do?
I'm just meaning in general because I serve a lot of different coaches and clients.
I know. Let's just make one up. Let's say they do. Let's just say they help other coaches scale. They're a coach for coaches. Okay. I think that ads can work, but the offer has to be really, really good. Like, I think one of the biggest things I'm seeing right now with ads is they're driving them to such a low ticket, low value experience. And I think I very much believe in over delivering. I believe in abundance. And if give away I just believe in giving away, like give them the goods because if you're going to run an ad, you have to blow their mind. And if you don't blow their mind, there's no way they're going to get into your program. Are most of your clients selling high ticket things?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I think brand partners can absolutely work. If you can pay someone well, and I know a lot of big time coaches are paying people all the way up to 50% to like 50% splits on driving leads into their low ticket programs or even into their regular programs. So if you can find, this is the thing too. The reason why I have so many brand partners is I'm paying big money to be in masterminds, to be around very successful individuals. I am getting in the rooms. I am traveling. I travel. Last year, I probably did 6 to 8 trips for masterminds just to be in rooms, meet people, experience people. I mean, it's how I met Renee, how Renee Warren. I know she was on the podcast. We just literally were like, we're soul sisters, met at a mastermind. We actually, she was a cold DM. I just sent a cold DM to her. I was like, I don't know if you could come in and like coach me and my friends for a day. And she agreed. And we paid her. We brought her in and she connected us with, and she invited me into a mastermind. I went to Tulum and there was 12 amazing women entrepreneurs there. And, you know, four of them were all brand partners. And again, that brought in $250,000 for us this spring from these brand partners. So they're not just going to pop out of thin air. I think that's the thing I want people to understand is these relationships that I've made have required spending money when I didn't have it to get to, like, this sounds like crazy, but I mean, when I first started my coaching business, I probably had $45K in my bank account, and this mastermind that was like, they meet every month and they're badass. And it was Taylor Welsh's group at the time, and I'm still in it. And it was just all coaches, consultants scaling to 10 figures, scaling to 8 figures. I wired him 20K. Like I was like, I'm doing it. I'm doing it. I know I need to get in the room. So honestly, like, get in the room. And then what I did is I just gave away value for free. I like just started coaching them. I'm like, here's this, here's that. Nope, don't do it like that. Let me show you this prompt. Let me show you this prompt. And people were like, holy, like, whoa, you know what you're talking about. I'm like, yeah. Oh yeah. I think a lot of coaches, consultants are like, well, if you're not a client of mine, I'm not going to serve you. I'm like,
Right.
no one's going to know what you do. So give it away. Give it away. Just be yourself. Like, go add value. One of my best relationships that I've gotten is with a man named David Guillaume. He's a spiritual coach. He's phenomenal. If you guys haven't heard him, he's the co-founder of Mary Ruth Organics. They're the largest, they're $1 billion company. And he's a spiritual coach. He posts online. I listened to his podcast on Lewis Howes, and I was like, oh my God, you are freaking amazing. Like, everything he said, I'm like, these guys haven't listened to that podcast. It's sensational. I listened to it twice. I just sent him a DM on Instagram. I was like, look, if you need anything, it's the least I can do. I got so much value from that podcast. I don't even know. I'm like, I'm shocked. I'm like, if you need help, if you want like me to whip up a custom GPT for you or something, like, let me know. He sent back, he's like, Callan, I get 100 messages a day. I don't know why I'm responding to you. I don't know, but like, let's get on a call. We got on a call. Long story short, fast forward 6 months. I'm going out to LA every quarter. I'm a part of his leadership team. I built 2 custom GPTs for free. No expectation of any response. He flew me and all my friends out to his seminar in New York. And it's like what he said. He's like, you just gave value without expecting anything. And I truly didn't. I was like, this is just fun. This is fun. So make it fun. Like, who can you add value to? Just start to build that momentum of net. It's like every time you add value and you don't get that compensation, you're invoicing the creator. So David says all the time, you're invoicing the creator. It's just going to come back tenfold. Every time you give money and you're like, I don't know exactly where that's going, but they really need it right now, it's going to come back tenfold. I think lead generation is truly building up your invoices to the creator, like, over and over and over again. And I know that's probably not, people are probably like, I want to see your hooks on your ad. I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, I'm in the place of it's a magnetic energy now to come into our field. People are just, they love it. We give so much away and there's immediate value. They walk away and I honestly don't care if they don't want to buy our program. That's totally fine. And I know the 10% that convert are our perfect clients and they're just ready to transform.
I love that. I want to have you back on one of these days again, and we could dive into more specifics around AI. I appreciate you being on the podcast. How can people follow you and connect with you further, though?
I love it. The website is theuncommonbusiness.co. And if you're interested, there's resources, there are all the things. If you go to work with us and you scroll down a little bit, you can see the wait list for Automate to Accelerate is our 10-week AI course. We do it twice a year. That's a really fun one. And then just follow me on Instagram. It's Callan Faulkner, Callan. And I post stuff about, like, I don't know, how to go to the grocery store and make sure AI can help you, voice noting all the things you need or putting a recipe in and getting a grocery store prompt. So I try to think of creative, fun things to help you guys. And yeah, I love it. So it was an honor to be here, Nathan. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, I'll put her links down below. Go follow her and connect with her. Learn AI. The importance of AI is so important. Leverage it in every area of your life. It's really going to be a huge resource. And if you're wanting to build online, there's another resource down in the description too of a free workshop I want to give everybody so that they can be able to know how to leverage AI and build a team that's going to buy back their time and give them impact in their.
There it is, free value. So, learn from the best. I love it.
Well, thank you guys for tuning in, and we will see you on the next episode.